All right, we back. We back on the air now. So our next topic going to be led by Zeus. What you got to tell us about these video games out here today?
Well, first is some news, some serious news. The Gamergate controversy going on. Basically, if any of you guys know Nina Sarkeesian, she's a popular YouTuber who talks about feminism in video games and how women are oppressed in video games and et cetera, et cetera. And she's a prominent feminist, a prominent figure in the feminist community and in the video game community as well. And she was going to speak at a university. I'm not sure which university it is, but she was going to speak at a university. And someone sent an anonymous threat to the school saying that if she came, that he will carry out the worst mass shooting in U.S. history because feminism ruined his life, and he does not like feminism, and he feels like it shouldn't be on campus. And so he threatened that if she comes, that he will, act this out. And she's been threatened before. She doesn't care about the threat. However, in the state, you're allowed to carry a firearm if you have a license, and she didn't feel comfortable with that, so she canceled her trip. And so it's bringing up the whole controversy of are these like gamers, are these men in gaming violent, or is there a reason for this, et cetera, should have been canceled. So what do you guys takes on this?
Wait, what state is this?
Here comes a new challenger.
A new challenger has arrived.
Dun dun dun.
All right, can you hear me?
No.
Matt, what state is this though?
No.
It's somewhere in New England.
Nah.
Okay. I'm not sure the exact state. I would say Massachusetts, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But what's your take on it, Jeremy?
How about now?
No.
What?
He said that the feminist movement.
Yeah, feminism ruined his life.
All right, wait. Can I just say that? Like, I wanted to say, that sounds like somebody that just never experienced a woman.
That's basically where that's what I'm getting off.
So, but to carry out a mass shooting over that, I think it's something a lot more serious. I don't want to inquire on his life, to be honest.
Can you hear me now?
But
still,
but I do think there might be something serious, more serious than that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out feminism ruined his life. I'm still trying to figure that out, how.
Yeah, I don't think
how.
To be honest, video games should always be an art form. It should always be something that's appreciated and used for entertainment.
Yes.
And I don't think it should be taken to a level where it's at where people threaten each other over mass shootings, especially that. That's something very serious in America.
It's I really like to understand this guy some more. Was he I feel like maybe he was trolling. You think he could have been a troll or anything like that?
But the thing is, that's not something that you did that
you don't. Of course not.
If anybody says something like that, that's something you take very seriously, and that's
definitely
why that's why it was canceled. And I do understand, she did want to speak, but I would understand why she would want to leave, why she want to cancel herself, because if you could bring a loaded firearm, you technically can do that. What will stop somebody from carrying out that mass shooting?
I find it very wrong that you're gonna go through great lengths just because the world is changing and there's female characters and the video games, especially video games. I mean, come on now. I grew up and I played Metroid. I mean, Samus. I played Tomb Raider. These are great characters. They're not making us males feel any less than we are. It's just it's great that all these genders come together and make a great game.
All two genders.
You know what I mean. There's those animals and aliens. So True that. So it's always great. I'm an advocate for change. So I'd like this guy he's out of control. You're really gonna shoot up a school. A university, just because there are female characters included in the world.
I don't think it was much the fact there were female characters included. I think it was so much the fact that.
Continue.
No, I'm almost lost my train of thought. I think it's most the fact that he doesn't like the feminism aspect of what she was going to be talking about.
All right, can I borrow your mic real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Special guest.
So, hi, it's Spring. All right, so Anita Sarkeesian, we know she's a feminist, right? So the only question I have for you guys, just for fun, what's more important, the protecting the rights of a person's life or the right to bear arms? Because that's the main situation right now. Because they didn't say that they said you could bring arms as long as you are licensed for it.
Yeah.
So do you think that they were right? Who was right at this point?
I'm
Because she had every right to not go and show up. Because if you feel like your life is threatened, and this is not her first threat, she's been threatened. Like they threatened to rape her, they threatened to bomb her, all this ridiculous stuff. So what do you guys feel about that?
Paris.
Yeah, Paris.
Okay, well, definitely the protection of rights of people, because once again, I see that's a thing. You know, I'm all against you know, mass shootings and everything like that, especially over something as simple as this. Like, there's no point for that. You know, I like if that were to happen, like it'd be the next big tragedy, and that's not what we need right now. Like, you know.
All right. So just to play devil's advocate with you, just because I have office hours and I like to do this when I'm bored.
Go ahead.
All right. So the school said they're not going to stop it, right? So you're saying that we should have every right to protect this woman.
Definitely.
And stop her from mass shooting, right?
Definitely.
Now, what about my Second Amendment right to have a gun if I'm licensed for it? Do you violate that also? Or do you think, like, because of this, like, because someone's life is at stake, that right just goes out the window?
You know, people like to say right to bear arms until something actually happens. Like, at the end of the day, what's gonna look worse? You're not gonna be able to use your firearm, or thousands of people killed.
Yeah.
You know, it all comes down to that.
All right, that's all I had to say.
Well, my personal take on the situation. Thanks, Spring.
You're welcome.
Shout out to Spring. Usual suspects coming up next.
My personal take on the situation is everybody's amendment rights should be taken into consideration.
Yes.
However, stepping up security in a facility like that is not a violation of somebody's rights. For example, if the president were to come and speak, you cannot bring an AK-47 to campus. This is not going to happen, and just not only for your safety, but the safety of those around you and the safety of the person speaking. And I've always been one to be, you know, in a heated right to bear arms debate. I do think there should be gun regulations. And I do think that, you know, if there should be security at the place, especially at the one of the mass shooting, that you know there should be precautions taken. Like, hey, you know, don't bring a gun, or you must have your gun, you know, shown at all times. That's, you know, some states that is something that you have to do. You have to make sure that your gun is, like, you know, visible to the naked eye, and you can't, you know, have a concealed weapon, because, you know, that causes problems.
And what you got to say about that, Jay?
Well, I co-sign with what you said. You know, like, what's more important are the lives of thousands of people. But at the same time, like Matt said, you have to also take into consideration that, you know, you have the right to bear arms. But it's just some people tend to twist that and, you know, and use it for their own personal gains, you know. So I just feel like there's no need for him to actually cause the mass shooting just because, you know, feminism ruined his life, and this feminist, you know, is going to, you know, talk about, you know, whatever she needs to say about, you know, what was it, games?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just, like I said, I'm still baffled by what, you know, how, you know, feminism ruined his life. So that's all I got to say.
Need a profile of him.
Speaking of pieces of controversy, on an actual lighter note, there's actually a new Sonic game coming out next month called Sonic Boom.
Sponsored by Guile.
However, it is a different kind of Sonic game. It's actually a reboot to the franchise. Now Sega Team Sonic did not say that there's going to be the problem. There's going to still be the old Sonic that we all love. It's going to be more so like a new hit version of Sonic. And, you know, I'm not sure if you guys seen the game design. If you guys can look it up, Sonic Boom. There's going to be a TV show as well, and look up the new designs. Sonic has bandages around his arm, and he has spikier hedges. Tails has goggles and carries a wrench. Amy looks somewhat more attractive. She has a nicer dress on and everything. And the biggest change is Knuckles, who got taller and a lot more muscular, and he got giant and everything. And so there's a lot of controversy going back and forth. Some people like to change. Some people say, you know, why are you changing our classic characters? And so what do you guys think? Like, do you guys like to change, or do you guys think that, you know, should have stuck to the regular Sonic?
Knuckles looks like Dr. Eggman.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. He has the shape and form of Dr.
Knuckles is not shaped like an egg.
Yes, he is.
You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like, you know.
What does it sound like to you?
He looks like Dr. Eggman.
That's what
it sounds like.
These characters are going to college or something. It sounds like college students, you know. Like you said, Knuckles is mad tall.
Yeah, he got a growth spurt.
He's brolic and stuff like.
But why?
And then we got Sonic with what bandages? You said.
He has bandages around his arms, and he has new gloves and his.
Sounds like some Nelly stuff. Back in the old days when Nelly used to wear a bandage right underneath his eye and stuff.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm all for change. I do believe that things should change over time, especially in video games. I'm kind of conflicted on this. To be honest, on one hand, I'm a huge Sonic fan.
Me too.
Now, granted, it is depressing to see that Sonic has taken a decline over the years. A lot of the new recent Sonic games did not do too well. Sonic the Lost World came out for the Wii U. Not too long ago, I think about 2 years ago. And I know I'm sure most of you did not hear of it, and it didn't do too well. It didn't have that good of promotion. And then and before that, there was Sonic Generations, which was the first good Sonic game that sold well in a long time. Before that, you had Sonic Unleashed and Sonic and Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic 06.
Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow the Hedgehog. I always wanted that game, but then I heard it was bad.
It was really bad. Sonic has taken a huge decline over the years.
I had the game.
I heard the game was so terrible.
It was terrible. The graphics was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Everything.
It's funny because the commercials, the graphics look like heaven.
It was those are CGI cutscenes.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it just on one hand, I do feel like we do need another Sonic game that can really stand out and bring the franchise back. Because for the most part, Sonic is a dying franchise because it just when you put that many bad games out in succession, you become a dying franchise, and people are gonna start not caring about Sonic anymore because they're gonna be like, well, all these games are bad, and you guys kind of ruin his image. So I guess that's the reason. That's probably much the reason why they want to reinvent it. So
now let me ask you a question: Is this gonna be one of those Sonic games that's sort of like how Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was, or is it gonna be some gimmick game? Is it gonna be straight up playing in stages and whatever and zones and whatever? Or?
I'm not sure if it's a gimmick. That's most Sonic games, 2.5D type of game. To be honest,
it's like a Sonic Heroes type thing where it's it's Cruise versus Cruise, and you're playing like that. Or is it a normal solo game?
Well, I think it's more so along the lines of if any of you guys play Shadow the Hedgehog or play Sonic Unleashed or play Sonic Colors.
Yeah,
it's along the lines of open world. Not so much open world, not a sandbox game, but it's a straightforward game. It's a 3D game. I'm not sure it's gonna have any 2D running segments yet. I'm sure speed isn't really that big of a feature in this game like previous Sonic games. It's a reinventing of the franchise, but it is somewhat different. It's a new TV show accommodating it too.
Can't wait to see that. You have any news when that's gonna air or anything?
Sometime in November, mid-November, for TV show and the game.
Oh, bet.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, we're gonna take another break. We're gonna be back with our last segment, the Holy Grail, music. So stay tuned.
Meow.
Man, I Call Holy Grail is a bad album.
It is.